Stay tuned for this important tip.
From our garden to yours.
It's hot and sunny, and we'd all like to be outdoors, but what about our skin? You know, that's a real concern. We all know many of the problems these days. Well, Luann Duncan's with us from our Family and Consumer Sciences Department. Welcome.
Thank you.
And you're going to help us out. I want to protect my skin, and, you know, especially since I'm getting a little older. I have to tell you, one of the things I do, I may be fooling myself, but I put on this cream that has SPF 15 in it. And I guess that's one of the things that we think about, some of the creams that we can use.
There's creams we can use. Basically, though, we want you to go to at least a 30.
Okay.
And you might be fooling yourself just a little bit because most of the damage is probably done before the time you're 18.
Oh, too late?
That's happened to all of us. And,
Yeah.
and many in our generation didn't ever use any kind of lotions or sunscreens. And I think that's why we see the prevalence of the problems that we're seeing now. So we want to prevent that for our children. We start young wearing the lotions on them, and we want to meet at least a 30. Some of the research said that it wasn't worth the extra cost to go above 30. However, if you have children, it might be worth every penny to go to the higher numbers.
Yeah, I've got 100 here in my hand, SPF, and there's a 30 right there. Here's a 45. I mean,
Right.
they're all out here. Here's a 50 also. So what you're saying is if we have kids, we may want to think about the higher numbers.
Definitely go the higher numbers, and it says ultra waterproof, whatever. You still put it back on every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours?
Every 2 hours,
okay.
because
I
even
don't
if they
do
go in
that.
the water, even if it's waterproof, it needs to be replaced. And so we just keep coating them. The only way to really prevent all this damage, 100%, stay out of the sun.
I know, and I can't do that.
No,
I got to be
you
out
gotta be
gardening,
outside,
things like that.
yes.
So what you're saying, for us older
Yes.
folks, I hate to
Yes.
think of this here, that
Yeah.
it's still a value to put it on, right?
Oh yes, we don't want to add to that damage. Our skin gets a little bit more tender as time goes on, but you may start to see signs of damage that isn't from what you're currently seeing out in the sun. That's probably from damage that you had from a sunburn earlier. It just, your skin wasn't starting to show it. What we call age spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
That's
are
it,
really,
huh?
it's just damage to our
Okay.
skin from wear and tear that showed up over time and didn't come out until we got a little older.
I mean, when I was young, I think all of us did this. We'd be out in the sun, we get the sunburn.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the only thing we did wear is a hat on the farm. And
That's
they
right.
didn't want to get fried brains, is what they called it.
Well, but you probably wore a ball cap because guys wear the ball
Nope,
caps.
I wore
you
one of
did.
these.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. However, now there's some issues about that hat.
Oh, don't
now
tell
the
me
ball
that.
cap, honestly, we had farmers, gardeners that we look at, and it can get very, very serious. You have to remove parts of the ear.
Yeah.
The ears are not protected in the ball cap.
Yeah, well, that's why I protect my ears. I put
That's
something
right,
on
you
there,
do that.
I put something on my nose.
Yes. Now this particular hat says, oh, it's great for the sun. It has a tight weave, but some of the hats at the store that still are straw hats have an open weave, and the sun can come right through that. So you want to make sure that it's solid, that the sun's not going to come through and burn your head. There was a comic strip years ago that showed a speckled head, a bald head, you know, because it had come through there.
How about that?
And that's very, very common. Unless, of course, you're going to put a wet washcloth up in there to help keep you cool.
Yeah.
That's not going to protect
now,
you.
I have one that has a big brim all the way around.
That's right.
it.
So you cover
I
your
think it came out
ears.
of Texas. They
Yeah.
figure they must know what they're doing there, right?
Yeah, there are
I guess.
specialty hats that you can have them down the back of your neck that cover
Oh, I've
your
seen
ears.
those.
Right.
Yeah.
So we need to make it more fashionable to get away from the ball cap and wear something with a wide brim, and that will protect us more.
I figured the ball caps actually do very little, actually, except protect the bald head, maybe.
That's right, and protects the very top of your head, and they're pretty solid fabrics, so that really does help protect, but not enough.
How about shirts?
The problem with the white t-shirt, of course, that's what you want to wear. You don't want to wear a black t-shirt out in the sun, but the black t-shirt is going to help better than the white. A white t-shirt only blocks about 70% of the sun. Still, the UV rays can still come through it, and once it gets wet, if you sweat or go in the pool with it on, you're down to
Right.
practically nothing.
How about the glasses?
Polaroids, the glasses that protect for UV, these have a side rim. My father had blue eyes, and it's not genetic. It's the fact that he was out in the sun as a
Really?
farmer, and he got cancer in his eyes from the sun. So make sure you wear eye protection. If you garden, wear your glasses.
Yeah. One thing very quickly, if I
Yes.
put all this on my skin here, how about vitamin D?
Vitamin D is from the sun, and we need 15 to 20 minutes of it, hopefully without that protection, because the protection helps block it. I noticed that they're putting vitamin D in some of the lotion. I don't know if it's going to really help us. And if we don't have enough vitamin D, we get other forms of cancer.
Yeah, we'll
Everything in moderation.
We'll have to read reports.
Right.
Luann, thank you very much for being with us. And if you're outside, hey, I learned some things today too. Better go for the higher SPF ratings there and cover every portion of your body. Thanks, Luann, for that information.